final speaker tonight is Louise Kerr. Louise is a teacher at St. Joseph's College, Coalisland, and a member of Blend Ed NI. She's going to talk to us about how technology can deliver pastoral care during distance learning, ensuring the mental and physical well-being of pupils. Louise, over to you.
Thanks very much, David. I'm just going to share my screen here. You can let me know if it's all going according to plan or not. Hope so. And that should be it now.
Great, that looks great, Louise.
Super. So as you can see on screen there, folks, I am Louise Kerr. At the top of this list, I put history teacher because at the forefront, I teach history every day, teach a bit of computer science as well. I'm a digital technology leader in St. Joseph's College in Coalisland, but I am a history teacher first and foremost. I'm also an Apple Distinguished Educator, and as David said, I'm a member of the Blend Ed NI team. I have been working in pastoral care for probably more years than I want to admit on camera. So really I want to start with the why. Why deliver pastoral care at all, never mind through technology? And it's sort of core to what we all do every day, as Deirdre has just said. It's about relationships and modelling positive thoughts for everybody. So we want to stay connected during lockdown, and as distance learners, we went into lockdown, everything was sort of done in an emergency situation. So we're all very conscious of that and trying to always improve and evaluate what we've done before. We still do. I know in our school there are a few students who are self-isolating, and even a teacher who's self-isolating at the minute because of close contacts. But we have worked very, very hard for weeks and months, and in some cases years, to maintain relationships with our students. So if there's distance learning or even blended learning, you want that to continue. It's not something you want to let slip or let slide. You want to provide support for wellbeing and model positive practices. We are massively into pastoral care in St. Joseph's, and as Deirdre said, it's the whole child, it's everybody. It's working from home as a positive practice. It's working on your physical well-being, and it's working on your mental well-being, all provided for through pastoral care. And to be honest, it's probably the most difficult. Subjects are easy to do. Pastoral care is much more difficult to deliver online. So I just want to start with the digital divide and digital poverty. So anybody, and I see quite a few people there in chat who have been here listening to the BBC Teach Meet all week, and it has been addressed that it's very hard to deliver things online at distance learners if children don't have devices and they don't have Wi-Fi. In St. Joseph's, we've been very lucky that a number of years ago we got a new principal, and Desiree McNeil came in with a vision that our students would go one-to-one. Now, I don't know how familiar many of you are with East Tyrone and the Coalisland area, but a large number of our students are free school meal students. They come from postcodes that Neighbourhood Renewal would have described as socially deprived, and Desi came in with a vision that we would provide them with something that would take them over and above, or at the very least equal to peers in other schools, and try and level that divide. To be honest, when he came in, we had quite a few naysayers, and when he delivered to the Neighbourhood Renewal and DFC and all that stuff, people were like, no, it's never going to happen, you can't do it, it can't be done. But his vision of not just providing devices, but providing Wi-Fi from businesses, from libraries, from getting local employers and engineering companies to boost their Wi-Fi and boost their broadband. It hasn't all come to fruition yet, but all our children have devices, and we're very, very lucky that way. So when I start to talk here, I will be very honest and say we have started from quite a positive position where our children all have devices. Very many of them have Wi-Fi, very, very few without. And also they all had training before lockdown, okay? So in practice, and I suppose that's what, as teachers, we want to always magpie and steal ideas from other people. As I say, we had very strong pastoral care ethos, and it's probably our main priority in school. And we consider that from the point of view of looking after our pupils, but also our staff, our teaching staff, our non-teaching staff, our building supervisors, our board of governors even. And so we model positive mental health, positive physical well-being, and positive relationships and support as far as possible. And that's in our day-to-day teaching. So when lockdown came, as it's called, we needed to make sure that that was translating online in our use of technology. So the first thing we did as a priority, as I say, our students were quite well trained, and Google Classroom was our platform of choice. The first thing we did was we set up form classrooms, much further beyond setting up subject classrooms. Our form classrooms were our main way of communicating and keeping and maintaining those relationships with our students. We also needed it to check engagement, okay, with learning and just with students being isolated. Like if you have an only child in your class, you need to make sure that that only child is in communication with someone, that they have someone to talk to. And if they end up not engaging with their subject specific classrooms, then that teacher can liaise with you to see if there's an issue at home, if the child needs more support, if there's something where they just need to pause their learning and concentrate on their physical or mental well-being, that's able to be done. The other thing that can be done, and I know we have a few nursery and primary people in today as well, anyone who's on last night listening to the Blend Ed team, Nicole, who shared our use of videos, and Karen, who shared the use of AR, you know, a form class Google Classroom is not just, how are you today? I'm waiting for replies. You can put in fun videos, and one of the things that we did was in the whole school Google Classrooms, and it actually goes back to what Deirdre was saying. It's a whole school initiative. We are very lucky that we have senior management and a principal who are very much concentrating on pastoral care, but those form classrooms should be fun. If you want to connect individually, and I know I'm talking here about Google Classroom, but it applies to any technology. If you know what you want to do, technology is out there to do it. In my form class, I set up a question very early. So the students had a multiple choice answer. The question was, how are you working from home? And the multiple choice answer was, I'm working really well. I don't need any contact. I think I'm awesome. And the second one was, I think I might be struggling. I want Mrs. Kerr to contact me. Now, on that first question, 99% of my students, all bar 2, said they were awesome. And 2 people said they were struggling. And when I contacted those people, one was a pastoral issue, that you needed help with something that was going on at home. And the other child just needed support from subject teachers. That conversation, once you set up a question, can happen privately. Those are private comments. If you have a platform where the children are asked to speak always publicly, it's very, very difficult. Those other 99% of students in my form class, I prioritised the 2 that I needed to speak to immediately, who acknowledged they were struggling. Everyone else still got a message. You know, whether they needed my help or not, they had to know that I was there, and that if they communicated with me, the box actually in Google Classroom says private comment. So they knew that they had the reassurance if they needed a private comment. And then it also taught them that they could do that with their subject specific areas. Our whole school classrooms were great crack, to be honest. We're quite a small school, and we have a great sense of school community. We're all Joes, as we put it, in St. Joseph's. And when we joined whole school Google Classrooms, students joined the classrooms using their Google codes, but teachers and non-teaching staff also joined that classroom, a whole school classroom. One of them was on mental health, and there's certain challenges that were set, random acts of kindness that Mrs. Mallon initiated, and you had to show that you were trying to produce kindness to other students, other staff, neighbours, family, whatever it happened to be. We also had a great one, and I don't know if you can remember back to lockdown when this was on, but the toilet roll challenge. Our ladies Gaelic footballers created a great video of communicating through firing football from one to the other, and they edited it and left a message. Mr. McNeil enjoyed a significant birthday, we'll put it like that. So we all joined that classroom without him initially to wish him a happy birthday. And it was great to see the positive messages coming in. And that's us modelling that everybody was in the same boat in lockdown and in the same distance learning. So at the minute, we have students at home who are isolating, we have others who are in school, but everybody's in the one classroom. And we, as you know, it's Mental Health Week. So Mrs. Mallon again has established a classroom with 5 challenges from the Young Minds charity, and we're working on those. And they have such a great sense of school community. They really are worth doing. What we are also modelling in that, okay, at a deeper level, I suppose, is the fact that we're modelling positive mental health attitudes. When students are in school, we do whole school activities. So we had a Face Our Fears event a while back, pre-COVID, I suppose. And students and teachers had a non-uniform day where students and teachers were wearing the same gear, school hoodies, jeans, trainers, and whatever it was. We had positive mental health talk, and then out came the tarantulas, the spiders, the snakes, all those sorts of things, and students and staff side by side faced their fears. So modelling that good practice can't be understated. And while we can move that technology-wise online, you know, you're just echoing what's there. If your pastoral care program's working well, you just want to reflect and mirror on it. And it's finding the technology to do that. Another thing we're working on and constantly do is resilience. So what we've done this week, we've created virtual school days where certain year groups are staying at home. They've tested out their Google Classrooms, they've tested out submitting work, and they're coming straight back to school in a day or 2 days' time to speak to their teachers to say what worked, what didn't work. We're preparing them more. Lockdown in March was a total emergency, and we want our children to be resilient if we have to lock down again, or if they have to isolate, or their teacher has to isolate. So that teacher who was isolating actually used technology and had a meeting in school with her class, and it was put up onto the interactive whiteboard, and she modelled good working practices. And lots of parents are working from home. Children need to see that if you model something, how they can approach it. There's so much more that I could say there about vision and modelling, but I am, again, conscious of time and I don't want to ramble on. Our platform of choice, I've said, is Google Classroom. And we were very lucky in that our students were trained in that through their computer science classes, and our teachers as well. Some needed a refresher, some just rolled with it. It was very easy to do. What I want to emphasize today is that it doesn't matter what your technology is. You could be on Teams, you could be in Class Dojo, you might be using Seesaw. You're communicating with your parents through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and providing those links to the counselling service that you're showing into your form class. But it's the way that you use it. You have to find a technique. Our students last year were very familiar with everything, and it's very easy to maintain relationships. It's much harder to establish new relationships. And I'm sure people going into primary are finding it very hard to communicate with parents about nursery children or primary 1 children who are just starting. But Seesaw is an ideal tool for that. Class Dojo is an ideal tool for that. Google Classroom mightn't be as user-friendly, but it's doable. Our current year 8s are trialling the new use of Seesaw in school. The head of transition and induction saw that there was a gap, and we talked about what we could fill it with. And some schools locally have used Seesaw, so parents and children were familiar with it. And the year 8s love having something that the older children don't have. You know, the students in 5th year wouldn't entertain Seesaw, but pastorally it's brilliant for students to connect directly with their teachers, and the family app then used for the teachers to connect with parents. But it doesn't matter your platform. You have to have something to connect with your parents and with your students at all times so that they come back to you. I know we're very lucky with devices, but all of the things on screen here can be done on a mobile phone. It's not ideal, but when it comes to pastoral things, making videos, sharing videos, and children aren't uploading work, there really is no reason why the pastoral aspect can't happen as well. And we would really recommend having a separate identity, that the form class connection or whatever form tutor, whatever title you use in school, is done separately, especially in post-primary, to what would be normally happening in subject-specific areas. So I have shared lots of ideas there, and there's so many more that we could do, but I can't model them all, I can't suggest them all. Yes, and is a phrase that we have been using. Yes, okay, that's great. I wonder what I can do with that to take on your inspiration. Monday was World Teachers' Day. It was leading in crisis and reimagining the future. And that's what we need to do with pastoral care, because as Deirdre said, we're talking about whole students, but a student won't learn if they're not being looked after. So that pastoral care needs to happen. We're the trusted professionals. we can model it for them, we can be inspired, and we can inspire them to do what they see us do. So on that, I'm just going to thank everybody for listening. I hope I haven't went on too long. Derby was quite succinct. But anybody who wants further contact or wants to know anything can contact me on Twitter or any of the Blend Ed team for any other ideas. If you're stuck for a platform where you don't know how to use it, shoot off a quick tweet and we can get back to you when we can. Thank you.
That's great, Louise. Thank you very much.